is going to be a long trip, Dad. I think he's going like this. Of the 4 EA charging plugs, 3 of them are broken. This scanner is also broken.
I gotta tell you, Tommy, we couldn't write a worse experience.
I had the same problem when I started.
Yeah?
Yeah. You start to get into a rhythm of it.
All right. Start to figure it out, huh? Well,
Yeah.
Airport, In-N-Out Burger, Porsche Taycan. That's right, we're here in Los Angeles, the 3 most iconic things about LA. Food, planes, and cars. And we're about to start an epic 1,000-mile journey back to Boulder. Tommy's behind the camera. And Porsche was kind enough to lend us this Taycan 4S, which, as you know, is, well, electric. So the question is, can you do a comfortable, a non-stressful, a fun road trip over 1,000 miles back to Colorado? Now, Tommy and I have done this road trip many a times, so we know the cities along the way, we know the milestones, and you know what, Tommy? It's getting late. Let's hit the car and let's hit the road and talk about it inside where there's not all this city noise. I wish In-N-Out Burger were open though.
Greetings, my friends. This video is brought to you by our friends at Manscaped.com. The right man needs the right tools to get the right job done properly. Recently, Manscaped came out with the waterproof Lawnmower 4.0. And now, to make things better, Manscaped presents the Performance Package 4.0 Bundle. Manscaped now has an all-in-one kit that simplifies everything. The lawnmower includes replaceable ceramic blades, wireless charging, and a built-in LED. On top of that, Manscaped even offers you the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. That's in their performance pack. And as a bonus, a bottle of ball deodorant and ball toner. You lucky dog. To make sure you never run out of supplies, you can enroll in the Peak Hygiene Plan. Go to manscaped.com today and get 20% off plus free international shipping. For a limited time, you can get 2 free gifts, the Shed Travel Bag and the Manscaped Anti-Chaffing Boxer Briefs. That's when you use the promo code FASTLANECAR at checkout. Take it from me, your balls, your body, and others will thank you.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Mile, keep right onto I-105.
That's pretty quick.
And we left the Tesla in the dust behind us. All right, how far do we got to go?
Well, the car is saying 1,056 miles, 19 hours, and 1 minute remaining.
I've got 208 miles of range, 97% charge, and Porsche is notoriously conservative on those numbers, which is a good thing because from St. George to Colorado, there's not a lot of, well, anything.
Yeah, in Utah, it's kind of a barren wasteland, at least in terms of EV chargers, but we're gonna see what it's like to put this vehicle through its paces and actually test out its real-world range and charging capabilities.
Now, I'd like to do a little mini review of this, but let's wait till we get out of LA. I've actually never driven a Taycan, or do you say Taycan?
I think it's Taycan.
I think it's Taycan as well. So it's interesting. We've got the 4S. How much is this bad boy?
144,000 as equipped.
Whoa, that's a lot of euros.
You betcha.
Yeah, I'm super curious to road trip an electric car. And I have a feeling we're going to be spending a lot of time at Walmart.
That's right. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of perhaps fiddling with EV charging networks, but we'll figure it out.
Because Electrify America, for some reason, has put in all of their chargers at Walmarts. All right, well, let's get the heck out of Dodge, or at least LA, while the getting's good, while there's no traffic.
Now keep left.
I think after, you know, at least a couple hours behind the wheel, we'll have a better idea of what this vehicle is like. All right, Tommy, so we've got a choice, right? We can follow what the Porsche navigation says, or we can use the phone and use a better route planner, but we're already having issues with that. What's going on?
Well, we're kind of trying to figure out what the best way to do this is, because they kind of have slightly different routes, and they also have slightly different timetables on how long we should be charging and where we should be charging. So a better route planner is a free service. You plug in your routes, you plug in your vehicle, and then it recommends you stop here, here, and here for 9 minutes, here for 14 minutes, here for 20 minutes. and then it uses this algorithm to figure out what the best way to do it is. The Porsche system has its own way of planning it out, and I'm not really sure which one we should be listening to.
Well, we've done Better Route Planner in the past and it's worked, but you're saying it keeps freezing up on your phone?
Yeah, the app's kind of a little glitchy here.
That's great. On the Porsche one, right, we're actually like having to charge, I'm looking at what it says right now, we're having to charge 35 minutes at the world's tallest thermometer.
Yep, and then it says 26 minutes.
That's a long time charging.
So the way that electric cars work is they charge very quickly when the battery is depleted, and they charge very slowly when the battery is near full. And if I look at what Porsche is having me do, it's suggesting I charge up to 95% at the world's tallest thermometer, which is a great way to spend a lot of time sitting at a charger. The Better Route Planner seems to be kind of keeping it more in its peak charging rates,
right,
which is down lower in the battery percentage. So
I mean, for the most part, like your fastest charging is going to come between, depending on the vehicle, but between like 20% and 80% of the battery. Once you're past 80% of the battery, it just drastically falls off in how quickly the battery charges. So I prefer not to have to charge to 95%.
Okay, well, let's try the Better Route Planner. So the next stop is at a Walmart.
Okay.
It appears to be Barstow.
Barstow.
So, Barstow.
Yeah, Barstow. Heck yeah, got off-roading there.
Yeah, we'll go check out the Walmart. Probably not the off-roading. And then
we are in the four-wheel drive, Tommy, or all-wheel drive.
We are in the all-wheel drive, you betcha.
Yeah.
And then we'll see how that Electrify America station experience is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
But this one's having me go to the EVgo, which means I need to download a different app for EVgo.
Yeah, this is why Tesla still rules the roost when it comes to, you know, having their own charger network, right? Their system works like very well all the time. It tells you exactly how many stalls are open.
In 1 mile, keep left and continue to follow I-105 east towards Norwalk.
It does a really, because there's so many people who have done this trip before in Teslas. Like there's a Model X right there, right? It knows how much power the vehicle will use exactly because of crowdsourcing, and then they have their proprietary and their own network, and this is what I was most afraid of. Not the car is great, it's just the fact that no manufacturer outside of Tesla has actually gone to the trouble and I think the critical advantage of building out their own infrastructure network. That was very ballsy of Tesla to do it long before they actually had cars.
We'll figure it out.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it can't be that hard. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're stuck in Walmart.
No, it'll be fine. I'm very confident.
In 700 feet, keep left towards Alondra Boulevard.
Yeah, so what happened here, of course, is the navigation, I think, took us in a wrong way. Now we need to be going down, what road is this, Tommy?
It's something a highway that ends in a 5.
605?
It's one of the 5s.
Yeah, and of course it's telling us to exit, but there's police everywhere. We can't
exit. In half a mile, keep left and continue to follow I-605 south.
So now we're completely hosed because we're going completely the wrong way on the 605, and we can't get off, and we can't make a U-turn.
All right, 2 more miles, you're gonna make the U-turn.
And this is affecting our range, of course.
I've got 3 different navigations going.
And none of them agree with each other, of course.
Well, 2 of them seem to be kind of in the same boat. So this is a pretty cool app. Actually, check this out, the Better Route Planner. It says we've got 117 miles to go to the Walmart fast charger in Barstow.
In 1 mile, keep left and continue to follow I-605 north.
It's
T-O-W, like
it's Barstow.
Stow?
No, it's Barstow.
Okay, Barstow, I apologize.
Yes.
We'll be there in 117 miles, and we're gonna charge there for just 8 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, pretty cool, isn't it?
Is there like an in and out option, or no? Is that not an option?
I don't see that option specifically.
Of course not.
All right, so of the 4 EA charging plugs, 3 of them are broken. This scanner is also broken.
Our first, well, it said plug it in, see what happens. It says,
okay,
plug it in first. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Oh.
Other side?
All right.
Can you get it across, or is it too far? It's too far. Let's see if you can get it over there.
I was looking at the app, and there appears to be far more than this at this parking lot. Do you think this is it?
I think this is it, Tommy. Why don't you pull it on the other side?
That's motorcycle parking.
Right, but we got to charge,
Okay.
right? I don't know how else we're gonna do it.
It says there's 8 chargers here. Are we missing something?
Is there another Walmart?
It says they're around the corner.
Okay.
Should-
Should we go look?
Yeah, let's go look at that before we deal with
Yeah,
this one.
Let's go look at that.
All right.
This did not work, but there's a Taycan parked over there, so we have more chargers, luckily. Thank God, because this was a little stressful. Are they working?
Yes, sir.
All right.
How you going?
Good. How are you, man?
Very much. It's nice to see you out here.
Yeah, thanks. We're doing a road trip in, well, the slower version of your car.
Sure.
How fast is yours charging? Hey, Tom, he's charging at 151.
Really good.
Yeah, really good. How do you like your turbo?
Man, I can't complain.
Yeah?
Really.
I'm doing
Yeah.
this for YouTube, just so you know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I catch a
You watch
bit
your
of
videos?
Yeah.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Totally.
How long have you had it?
About 6-7 months now.
Yeah, what's your favorite thing about it?
Just the savings, man. I feel like I don't know, stealing the energy.
Well, you know, drive it like you sold it.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, I just enjoy it on the highway. I feel so confident anywhere I take it, really. It's great here in California and up and down the coast.
Here are the different stations. We're at 3, I think.
Okay.
Swipe to start charging, processing payment. So the idea is with the membership, it's a $4 monthly fee, but then you save money, but it's not working, so we may just use a credit card.
I gotta tell you, Tommy, we couldn't write a worse experience. I mean, literally, we could not write, if we were doing this for like a TV show, I couldn't write a worse experience. I'm just thinking to myself, you pull up to a gas station, you plug in the car,
Yeah, but
and you start filling. We've already been here like 15 minutes, and you know, our 4th charger, and now the best that we can get is processing payment.
I can call them.
No, I don't want to have a conversation with them.
Well, that's what you do at Electrify America. You call them up.
I had the same problem when I started.
Yeah?
Yeah. You start to get into a rhythm of it.
All right,
Yeah.
start to figure it out, huh? Well,
Yeah.
I'm not phased. So I think the issue is that it says I have good cell reception here, but maybe I don't, and it's just I can't get the app to not do anything but process the payment. Card error. Card error. How about swiping? Use chip reader. Card
Try
error.
it the other way.
This is gonna be a long trip, Dad. If he keeps going like this. Declined.
Fudge's sake.
So we have three good credit cards we use. They all declined. Chip reader's not working. Chip reader's not working on that one. The one over there,
How about
two
your
of them are broken.
how about your Electrify America app?
It's frozen.
Can you call him, Tommy?
Yep.
I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Will do. Thank you. Yep. Bye bye.
Well, that guy was very helpful.
He was
but-
very helpful. We got it going.
But-
So you can see we are 149 kilowatts at 46%, which is pretty high.
Well, this one is certainly holding at 150, Tommy.
Yeah, perfectly. Exactly 150.
I mean, we got the car charging, but I had to go to the Verizon store to download the app and then set up a whole new account to actually get it to work, which is, you know, a little crazy.
Well, we tried the chip reader on a couple different units. We tried Apple Pay. We tried the conventional method and nothing would work.
How far are we supposed to charge?
Well, let me check with the service we've been using, a Better Route Planner.
Okay. Yeah. So how long here with Better Route Planner?
Better Route Planner is predicting about 25 minutes
Of charging?
of charging, but I think we'll need less because it was saying that we were going to arrive here at 20% and we arrived here at like 40%. Currently sitting at 77%, 106 kilowatts, which is really good for almost 80% state of charge. Now here's the deal. I think what we learned from this experience is a lot of stuff has to go right before you have a really smooth charging experience, and I think the issue in this location is a lack of cell service, and that has really screwed up our charging experience because the Porsche app isn't working, our phones aren't working, a Better Route Planner isn't working, and without that good cell connection, it really has just thrown a monkey wrench into things. But a phone call to Electrify America, we're back charging. The next stop, we're going to try using the Porsche Connected app because you get the free years of fast charging. But we've been here for 17 minutes, we're at 80%. We have about 140 some miles to go till our next charger in Vegas, so hopefully that'll do the trick. So we didn't use a membership on this run. 35 kilowatt hours cost $15, which is pretty pricey. But 18 minutes charging here. We're gonna stop and hit the road. So Dad, we've been driving for quite some time since our first stop in Barstow. We're almost to Vegas, about 40 miles away to our next charger. And I have to say, both the Better Route Planner and the Porsche have been way off on the actual power usage. The Better Route Planner said that we'd be pulling in here right around 10%, but I think we're gonna be well over 20%, and we started below the recommended leave level back in Barstow. So
Barstow.
I'm sorry, I can't say it.
I know.
I can't say it. It doesn't work in my brain.
All right.
So that's been really cool. The other cool thing is the Porsche gives you this blob on the navigation, and that is your range that you can drive before you run out. So it conforms to the different elevations and the different roads. So it's not a circle like the old Leaf was, remember?
Yeah, I mean,
But it was wrong.
Leaf did that, like, I want to say 10 years ago.
But the Leaf didn't calculate for highways and
Right.
for hills and stuff.
Right,
This does.
Audi did that like 2 years ago with the GT.
It works really well in the Porsche, and it looks super cool.
Yeah, I can see that. You know, as a car, this is certainly much better built than the competitor, which is of course the Tesla Model S.
Yep.
But in terms of technology, Tommy, I gotta tell you, I still think Tesla is like at least a generation ahead. So, for instance, you know, trying to use the cruise control here, I'm gonna count how many functions the stock has. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 functions on the stock to get cruise control and, well, not auto steering, but lane keep working, right? And the Tesla, all you do is, you know, push down twice on this stock over here, and it just engages.
I think that if you own this car, you would figure it out within a couple weeks, and then it would all make sense. No, I'm sorry. I mean, there is a lot of tech. I agree. There's different charging pages, different sport displays, different media settings, different climate pages.
Yeah, they take something very complicated and make it more so.
But it's nice because it's super configurable, and you can get this car dialed in exactly to your specification, which is kind of what Porsche's always been known for.
Vegas, baby, or Tommy. So we made it to Vegas.
So from here on out, we're going to do something a little bit unusual. We're only going to do little baby stops. So we're going to stop for like 10 minutes, drive for an hour. Stop for 5 or 10 minutes, drive for an hour. That's what it looks like according to the map. And the idea is we're actually going to stay kind of in the bottom half of the battery where it charges really quickly. And then drive for a little bit and charge for a little bit. Drive for a little bit and charge for a little bit.
You know, I would normally be really psyched about that.
Yep.
But with our last experience, I just worry that we're going to show up to a charging station and none of the chargers are going to work, and we won't have any, like, you know, any reserve left.
Well, trust the Porsche, trust the infrastructure, because this car has been killing it on range. And
I trust the car, I don't trust the infrastructure.
yeah, but I think even if the infrastructure fails us once or twice, we'll still have enough
But
buffer.
we won't have any reserve.
Don't worry. I planned for a little bit of a reserve. Yeah, don't stress. We got this. We got this. We got this down.
I'm going to be really stressing if we're plugged into someone's house at 110.
But yeah, we got the Porsche app working this time, which means we can utilize the free charging, and I've got a good feeling here.
All right, I'm going to go with that.
Porsche Connect. So I'm going to zoom in. There we go. So Electrify America. It says charging points available, 350 kilowatts. So I'm going to click the start charging button. And then it's going to ask for the number of the station. This one is 05, right?
05.
Okay, it's making a connection. All right, it says the charging has begun. Plug it in. All right, let's go see on the screen.
Look at that.
Look at this. So we were supposed to arrive at 10%. We actually arrived at 21. We're going to go to about 50, and let's see how long that actually takes. But hey, what did I say? That was super easy.
Now we're going up 64 kilowatts. Come on, we can go up to 350.
Well, hold up.
What?
The car can go up to 270.
Okay.
So the station's actually more capable than the car currently, but 270 is insane, although we're currently only pulling 63 right now. But that's okay, we'll give it some time.
Yeah, you think it'll...
Jump on up. 64!
Yes.
We're rocking it off into the future.
I guess you have to let the battery in the car decide how much power it can pull, hopefully, and the station, so it doesn't damage the batteries, right? All right, the good news, Tommy, is I've got about, almost 5,000 steps in while the Porsche charged. So, one of the things I hate is just sitting in a car all day. And this way, not only do I get to get some, van shopping, and I get to get some exercise in.
Nice.
Not a bad place to be.
It's a huge mall.
It's a huge mall. Keep going. Can we go to the end?
Sure.
Let's go to the end. Well, Tommy, that was actually very pleasant. We got to spend about a half hour in the world's biggest outlet mall. It's cool to see people out and about, after a year and a half of lockdown. And look at this, we got 65% in the battery, and about $10, 31 kilowatt hours of charge.
It took 28 minutes to go to 65, so not going to set any speed records.
No, but it was nice to walk around. It was nice to get some exercise, and makes the trip a little bit more pleasant. And I am starting to warm to the car now that the charging stations are actually working. So, shall we go hopefully to St. George next?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. I'll drive. Tommy, the more I drive this car, the more I like it. I mean, it's rock solid on the highway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's got this package for this super quiet insulated glass, and it's just like a silver silent bullet.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get to Utah. You can actually do 85 miles an hour legally, because then it'll really come into its own. You can tell it's Autobahn bred.
Now, the navigation system is doing a pretty good job of predicting what our current range will be. The reason we're not necessarily following it is because it's got these really kind of big charging plans from like 14 or 10% all the way up through 95.
That's still good. You don't want to go 95.
We're just trying to keep little shorter chunks. So we're stopping in Mesquite, even though we probably don't need to. We're still at like 38%. We could probably make it to St. George. But we're getting hungry, and there looks to be an Electrify America next to a cool Thai place.
Perfect. The one downside to Better Route Planner is, unlike like a Tesla, it knows the state of the battery, right? The Better Route Planner is just guessing at it, and it's not doing a great job, actually. It's way off because the Porsche is so conservative with it.
We're supposed to be rolling in here once again at like 10 or 12% battery, and we're at 36% battery.
Exactly.
Which is pretty far off, but that's okay. We're not setting any world records for charging speeds, but we're having a good time, and we're not stressed out, so that's worth something. Let's see what happens.
It's always like a crapshoot, seeing what kind of charging rate we're going to get. All right, it started charging, Tommy. Let's see the charging rate.
65 again.
In the last charging station, we thought maybe the car was limiting the amount of power going into it, but we talked to Porsche, and they said no. With the battery being at the right temperature, it knows it's coming here, and it's really the network that's limiting it. Oh, it actually went to 46 kilowatts, Tommy. We might be staying the night here. The hotel's right there.
No.
It's 46 kilowatts. You know how slow that is?
So they were saying that when the battery's about 92 degrees, that's when it'll charge the quickest.
66.
So we're up to 66 now. We'll go have some dinner and then let that juice on up, and I guess we'll see if we have enough to make it to Cedar City.
Yeah.
I mean, the car's supposed to be capable up to 250, so we're pretty far from 250, right at 66, but I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, real world testing, this is what you get. 66 kilowatts.
So this little restaurant in Mesquite, Nevada, little Thai place, is incredible. It's near the EV charger, and the food is so good.
Oh my god. Who the fuck you get such good Thai food in the middle of Utah?
Nevada.
Nevada. Oh, we're in Nevada. No, okay. In the middle of Nevada. We're not to Utah yet. So if you come here to Mesquite, go up the hill from the Walmart and check out this Thai restaurant. It is to die for. I would come here just for this, Tommy.
So dinner is over. Let's see what the final tally is. Well, we were gone for quite some time. 54 minutes enjoying our curry. We started at 35%. We're all the way up to 96%. Usually you don't want to do this because, I mean, you're just taking a charger away from other people, but clearly not a lot of other people charging tonight, so I think we're okay with this.
And now for this final stretch, to our hotel, we don't have to worry about range at all. So we've got plenty of charge. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed by, you know, not the charging, but the availability of chargers. I mean, we've only on one day, right, seen one other guy charging a turbo. Otherwise, we've been the only ones doing this cross-country trip. So I still think we're in the early days, but it's cool that we're kind of, you know, one of the few that's doing it right now. As far as I can tell, no one else is here.
All right, well, here's the surprise. I found a hotel with a level 2 charger, and it's not gone well.
Hey, well, that's a kick in the butt, Tommy. The Tesla driver is using the J70. What is it?
J1772.
Right. Anyway, it's our charger, and there's a perfectly good Tesla charger right here. So he's using his adapter to use a charger that works in our car, but unfortunately we can't use a Tesla charger because it's proprietary. You know, why would you do that? You know, that's just lame, dude. Lame.
So here's the problem. This is a J1772 level 2 charger, and it works with every vehicle. You can use it on Teslas if you run an adapter. But here's the real issue. Come and look over here. This is the other charger the hotel's provided. This is a Tesla destination charger. So we can't charge up.
No, we can't.
Well, maybe, I mean, we could wake up in the middle of the night and unplug them.
Yeah, we might have to. All right, Wahoo! We found the owner of the Tesla, and we've now got the Tesla charging with the Tesla plug and us charging with our plug, so we should be good to go tomorrow morning. That's a big relief, and yeah, it's been quite the day. Car's great, charging.
Exciting,
Interesting. It's an adventure. It's always an adventure.
We did consider the fact that maybe the Tesla destination charger was occupied when the Model Y owner showed up, but after talking to the driver of the Model Y, it sounds like it was more of a misunderstanding of the charging standards and what goes where. All right, we'll see in the morning. You can see we're plugged in. We'll get a full charge first thing in the morning.
All right, let's head out.
Woo! Yay!
All right, Tommy, day 2 now. I have to admit that yesterday was not the best day for charging or the charging network, but the car is rock solid. I'm really starting to love this vehicle, and I'm hoping that today, when everything lines up right, we can actually prove that you can go effortlessly across the country in an electric car. Now, you have something interesting you want to say about that Tesla.
I do. This is gonna be a bold statement, but
That's a bold statement, Cotton, and you haven't said it yet.
yeah, I haven't even said it. I have a hunch with both of these cars charged up, the Taycan with the 93 kilowatt hour battery, and of course the Model Y. If you drive the Taycan nicely in range mode, I think it might go further than the Tesla. Because think about it, it's got a bigger battery, it's super slippery. I know the EPA says it'll do 100 miles less than that Model Y, but I don't know, I think Porsche's super underrating these vehicles.
Now keep in mind that last night, while we did have a little trouble, we also, if we had one, we could have had an adapter to adapt the, the Porsche charger to the destination charger for the Tesla.
The car is at 100% charge. It's showing 250 miles of range. We're going 130 miles to Salina, Utah, and then from there on out, it's going to be pretty much nothing throughout the rest of the state. So we'll get a little interesting through there, I think. But first up, 130 miles in the Taycan. It's about 8:15 in the morning. Okay, so 249 right now is what it's showing in normal mode.
Yeah.
Let me go to range mode, and now it's displaying 257. So about 8 more miles of range when you go into range mode, at least at this state of charge.
What's the top end on this, Tommy?
Should be about 155 on this 4S.
I have no doubt this would do 155. No doubt.
And I think the quoted 0 to 60 is 3.8 is what Porsche says.
I thought I read 3.5, but I could be wrong. It's fast.
Yes, we're going about 130 miles to Salina.
Okay.
And that's past when we go right on to I-70.
All right.
And then we're like Salina, I think, then Green River, I want to say, which is near Moab.
Yep.
And then I think Grand Junction, and then Glenwood, Frisco, Boulder.
Okay, but we got about what, just under 500 miles yesterday.
Yeah, and we've got, I think Better Route Planner says we've got a long day today. It's going to be
Probably 560, 70 miles.
over 12 hours. 592,
Cool.
10 hours and 29 minutes. There you go.
Yeah.
So we're here in Salina, Utah. We're not really that empty. We're currently sitting at, well, let me tell you. We're currently sitting at 53%, 131 miles of range remaining. But the next stretch is going to be kind of a long one over some pretty serious hillage, and you can see that we wouldn't really make it all that comfortably within the range blob. So we're going to just maybe spend 5 or 10 minutes here, getting a little bit higher, and then we'll cannonball to Green River.
Yeah, let's use a Porsche app. We've got the 350 Charger here, so let's see if we can actually get anywhere near that. Battery's at 87 degrees. And it's chilled off at 65 degrees out there, which is actually really cool, interestingly. Now, we've already encountered one problem here, and that is that the sprinkler seems to be washing our car. So you gotta, Tom, you gotta get that Charger charged up before the sprinkler comes back around. It's like a game now.
Oh no, it's coming back.
It's coming back, dude. There it is, it's coming back.
Here we go, start charging.
All right.
003.
Yeah, 003, that's the number.
Connecting.
Please plug in. Hurry up. Sprinkler's coming.
Oh, look at that.
120, oh, 90.
95, 96,
That's better.
98,
Woo! Rock on.
99.
I hear it. It sounds like a jet starting up. Oh, here comes the sprinkler, dude. Here comes the sprinkler. Tommy, here comes the sprinkler.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, the poor car. So look, this one's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Charge speed requested by your vehicle,
yeah,
97 kilowatts.
that's great.
Current charge speed, 98 kilowatts. So we know the car, according to this, is requesting 98, and that the charger's delivering 98.
Oh wow, we actually having a good experience charging. Today might be the day where we make this painless trip across country, except for, of course, the random sprinkler, which is fine. You know, if it was hot, it'd be actually very pleasant.
Now the cool thing about this, Dad, we're here to Love's Truck Stop, so we can go get some drinks and some snacks, and then in just a few minutes we'll be back on the road.
All right, let's go do it. Yum, yum.
So look at this, 53 to 77% in 13 minutes. Even at the end there, we were pulling 107 kilowatts, which is actually quite really good. Considering we were at 77 state of charge. We probably didn't need that stop, but it was great because we wanted to stretch our legs and get a drink, and now we've got plenty of buffer to get us
Whoa, sprinkler, sprinkler.
100 and some miles to Green River, where our next stop is, and that will also be kind of a little short stop. So I'd say overall a very good experience. Let's see how far we have to go to the next station. 105 miles. Oh, we're gonna eat it up even at 80-85.
You know, Tommy, that was a really pleasant experience. We got our drink, we got our snacks. You know, I think that was what Calvin and our friend at Porsche had envisioned when he lent us his car to drive it from LA to Colorado, right? That we would, you know, drive 100 miles, quickly charge, drive 100, and, you know, have a nice and pleasant trip like that. And today's turning out to actually be that kind of a trip.
We probably didn't really need to stop there. We could have stretched all the way to Green River, but it would have been more stressful, especially at these speeds of 80 plus in the mountains. Honestly, in this instance, charging was not an inconvenience whatsoever because we had to use the restroom, we wanted to get a drink, we just happened to plug in, you know, while we were doing that, and we got another, you know, 20-some% battery in the vehicle, and on we go.
In the car wash, thanks to Love's.
Well, that was a fun stretch. So we are in a little town called Green River. Beautiful country here.
Yeah, we're just outside of the exit for Moab. I wish we had the Gran Turismo, you know, the station wagon version of this.
Cross Turismo?
Sorry, Cross Turismo, that's right, not the Gran Turismo. I would be tempted to take it off-road. But instead, we're gonna be here looking for a charger at Green River, and hopefully our good luck will continue, Tommy.
Yeah, so this was about an hour and a half in the car, wouldn't you say? We are down to 37% battery. The Porsche thinks we'll be at the charger with 36%. It's pretty much spot on its prediction there, which is good. And it hasn't changed over the last hour and a half. Now we've got 100 and some miles to go to Grand Junction. The car is reading 89 miles of range remaining, so we're just gonna spend 5 or maybe 10 minutes here. Just a quick little top up to get us to Junction, where we'll charge up and have lunch. unlike other charging stops that have typically been in Walmart, although the last one was at a Love's, I'm looking for a little coffee shop, and behind the coffee shop is supposed to be
A quick charger, fast charger.
yeah, an Electrify America. Okay, cool. So
Pick the 350.
we're right now at 36%. I'm thinking that we'll only need to go up to about 60 to be comfortable. And we'll choose the quickest charger here, which is not that one. It's this middle one.
Is it 350?
350.
All right. This has been our struggle the whole trip. Only 65 kilowatt hours. Kilowatts, not kilowatt hours, sorry. I get those two confused. Well, it is what it is. Three things that could be doing it, right? And I suspect if we investigated, Porsche would say it's Electrify America, and Electrify America would say it's Porsche. The truth lies somewhere among those two. But the promise and the reality, well, you're seeing what's going on. The lucky part of this is we're by a coffee shop, and let's go enjoy some coffee while this thing sucks up as much energy as we can get into it in the next, 15-20 minutes?
Yep.
All right, done.
So at this stop, we went from 36% to 63%. It took us 22 minutes at 24 kilowatt hours added to the battery. That's pretty slow, actually, as fast charging goes. But we only need to go 100 miles to Grand Junction. Hopefully, this is enough. It should be. And then hopefully in Grand Junction, we'll hit a faster charger and the car accepts more oomph.
I'm going to give you the top 5 things I love about this car, and then after the next stop, I'll give you the top 5 things I hate.
Okay.
All right, can you guess what number 1 is?
What is it?
That!
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Wowza. 0 to 60 in like 3.5 seconds or less. It's pretty amazing, especially when you use launch control. I think we got, a lot of fun drag races if we get to keep this a little bit. Love to take it to Bandamere and kind of, put the pain on some of those guys out there running cars with rear-wheel drive that are still using those old, what are those called? Oh yeah, supercharged V8s. Yeah, that's what those are called, right?
What's number 4?
Number 4, I love the design.
Okay.
I think it's beautiful. I think this car is absolutely, and the bee's knees when it comes to styling.
And 3?
Number 3 is the interior. I think the interior is super elegant. It just feels, like Porsche has taken it to the next level.
And 2?
Number 2 would be the fact that it's all-wheel drive.
And 1?
And 1 would be the fact that it is rock solid on the highway. This is, if there has ever been an electric Autobahn blaster, it's this. I mean, this thing feels like you could be doing 155 miles all day long. And I'll give you an extra one. I love the fact that Porsche has underrated the battery. Gives you, a lot more confidence when cross-country driving. Because even though it says, we'll have 18% left, I bet you when we get there, we'll have a lot more than 18%. All right, we've made it back to Colorado, Tommy, and I've got the trip meter going. We've gone 802.9 miles.
That's pretty good.
With an average speed of 56 miles an hour.
Yeah, and our consumption is 34.4 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. So let me do a quick bit of math here.
That's not the number we want.
We want to know the miles per kilowatt hour, and that comes up to 2.9.
It's okay, at some point that number is going to become like MPG number. We were, doing 80-ish miles for much of the way through all of...
miles per hour, yeah.
Yeah, so, we were going rather quickly.
Yep. So since our last stop, we've driven 99.3 miles, averaging 78 miles an hour. And obviously the consumption was higher through that section. So over the last 100 miles or so, let's see what we've been doing. 2.69 miles per kilowatt hour. So we've been burning through Utah. It's so vertical and the speed is so high. So we're right around 20% battery right now. We're going to stop at a Sam's Club, Electrify America, go get some lunch.
Hopefully.
Yep. And then we definitely need this charge because we're going to be 20-ish% to get to the next station.
Charger, Tommy, and Porsche. Oh, I like that sound. That sound always is good. That means it's
Something's going on.
That's a fan. Oh, that's a. Oh, look at that. That means maybe a lot of power.
Just making stuff up now.
No. Every time I hear that fan go on, this thing's getting ready to really rock it. All right, so once again, good news and bad news. The bad news is because Red Robin had a little bit of a mix-up with Tommy's hamburger, we spent an hour eating lunch. But the good news is, in that hour, we got it up to 96%.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, $21.70 for 96%. So now we are good to go all the way back to Boulder, aren't we, Tommy?
Not quite.
No. Okay, we're good to go to Denver.
I think we're gonna stop in Glenwood Springs and then give it a quick buzz up there, and then make our way to like Frisco.
Okay, all right, a couple more top offs.
All right. Well, once again, it's not good to charge on a fast charger over about 80% because it goes slowly. But because of the hamburger mix-up of 2021, we were here for a full hour, and it turned out to be just fine. So the charging speed really wasn't an issue whatsoever.
All right, Tommy. So there is a lot of good news here. They always say look at the bright side of things, right?
Yep.
First of all, we've got a completely charged battery.
Full bellies.
But more important, on this trip, we've only run into one other person charging.
Very true.
No one is fighting for Electrify America chargers. So this is a good time to go and get yourself
An EV.
Because I think I've seen lines at like Tesla chargers, but in this entire 2-day process, we've only seen one other car actually charging in any of these stations.
Yeah, it's been really painless in terms of traffic jams. Yeah, it's good stuff. So we're heading toward the high country, as we call it, in Colorado. So we're going up, toward 10,000 feet above sea level in the mountains, and then we're gonna go from there.
All right, cool. Let's rock it.
Welcome to Glenwood Springs. Now, we didn't really need to charge up here because we're about 64%, but I want to make it to the next Electrify America station, and there's quite a bit of a gap over the Rocky Mountains. We're actually pulling 103 kilowatts at 64%. We're only going to go to about 80, so just a little quick stopover. But yeah, pretty good. Better than 80 in the 60s that we've been getting earlier. So maybe 5 minutes here and we'll be back on the road.
So Tommy, I think now that we're in Colorado and we're kind of on the final stretch, let's sum this up. But before we do that, remember I just gave you the top 5 things I love about it?
Yep.
There's got to be top 5 things I hate about it.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Number 5, that charging dongle is just a monster, and it just seems needlessly big and cumbersome and hard to plug in and hard to unplug. It feels like they didn't put a lot of engineering in it.
I'm not sure that's Porsche's fault, but
No, I'm not blaming Porsche on that. I'm just saying.
I do agree. Yes, it is quite a bear.
Number 4, this little touchpad here, it took us a while to figure out what that does.
Yep.
Is just unnecessary.
What that little touchpad does,
I know what it does.
Yeah, it basically allows you to control the top one via an iDrive kind of like system, and it's just not needed. You're right.
Yeah, I mean it's all touch sensitive, so why do you need an extra pad here that's black and just shows fingerprints already?
Yep, I agree.
All right, that's number 4. Number 3, I'm not in love with the little shift. What would you call that? The lever?
Paddle?
What is that thing? I'm looking at it right now.
The one that plops out of the dash?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Why not?
It just it's hidden behind the steering wheel to begin with, so you can't see what you're doing. So you gotta know what you're doing,
Yep.
And it just seems like once again Germans are reinventing things for the sake of reinventing things.
All right, I think that's a fair statement.
All right, Tommy, look at the traffic. Holy cow, we're lucky we're going this way. Number 2 on my list of things I hate, and they picked this up from Tesla. The story goes, dude, that the reason Tesla doesn't have a shade up here is because Mr. Musk himself did not want a shade.
Okay.
And for some reason, that's become an electric car thing. Why is there no shade up here? I mean, I love that some of the vehicles that we've tested actually have those kind of glass, electrically augmented roofs where you can darken them.
Yeah, you like make them opaque?
Yeah, which car do we have that had that?
The Venza has it.
Yeah, exactly.
The new BMW iX has it.
First time I saw it was in a Mercedes, but this not having a shade is no good.
You don't have to get the glass roof though.
Well, yeah, but if you get it, why is there no shade here?
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean, we live in a state with 300 days of sun, and I don't know how much more power we're using to air condition, the cabin, because this is allowing a lot of sun radiation in here.
Okay.
All right, so that's number 2. And number 1, what do you think that could be?
I don't know. What is it?
Number 1 has to be the fact that I really love this car and I wish I could afford it. So, $140,000 for this particular car is a lot of money. And I know it's a Porsche, but I also understand that they are competing with, well, let's be real right now, the Tesla Model S Plaid,
Right.
which is actually quicker than this car,
Okay.
which has more range than this car.
Allegedly.
Well, according to the EPA.
Well,
150 more miles to be specific.
All right.
With the big tires, it's got 350. This has 2 something.
not sure I agree, but okay.
Cost less money,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah.
It's about 130,000 for a Model S Plaid, whereas this particular car, which isn't even the Turbo S, right, which would be like 190,000, is still more expensive. So I get you're paying Porsche prices, but in a way, I think Tesla has reset the bar. And I think, as much as I would want this car, it would be a very hard decision knowing that you can get a car that's quicker, that's, has its own charging network, right?
Right.
And that is now the fastest accelerating car in the world for less money. That's a hard argument to make, Porsche. It just is for a lot of people.
So I will say that I think this is the best handling EV and maybe car period I've ever driven. The steering is incredible. It's more buttoned down than any car. The adaptive suspension, it just works its wonders. It feels light and nimble, even though it is quite a heavy vehicle. The center of gravity is low. It's just, it would be hard for Tesla, I think, to build a car that handles as well as
No.
Porsche.
I mean, this feels like it's made out of one big piece of granite.
That's the second argument. This car is incredibly well made. Everything you touch is, you couldn't move a single piece of trim with all of your force. And granted, I don't have a lot of force to put behind it, but still, it's incredible just how well screwed together it is.
Yeah, so we were having this argument, and I said, Tommy, if you had this much money, would you rather get Taycan or the Plaid? And what did you say?
Yeah, this is probably one of the best cars I've ever driven. Genuinely, it's plenty quick. It handles really well. I think it's beautiful. The interior is the best interior of any new car today. The stitching is beautiful. The design is beautiful.
So you're saying you get this?
The infotainment's not my favorite, but yeah, I would get this over the Tesla.
I'd probably get the Tesla, but for 140, I could get the other Porsche that we tested like 2 months ago, which was the 911 Targa, and I would get that all day long. So I would, given the choice between, if I had $140,000, right, I would get that 911. I just fell in love with that.
I like the 911 a lot. It's one of my favorite cars, but I would still get this over that 911.
Wow,
because
that's pretty bold.
it's incredible. It's such a good car. They did such an amazing job with this vehicle. I agree it is expensive. Horsepower per horsepower, it's not going to beat the Tesla, but Porsche's never been about beating, horsepower wars with dollar per dollar.
Well, Porsche has always been about building cars that are engaging, sporty and
Very
fun
well
and
made.
fun to drive. And I think that on a track, even though this is down on power, this would be a much more fun car to drive than a Tesla Model S Plaid. I think Porsche, you can really sense the engineering that went into this. You can tell there's, a lifetime's worth of understanding how chassis development works and how to make a car feel rock solid and at the same time ultimately capable around the corner, which I don't feel in a Tesla. I think Tesla's gotten really good at going 0 to whatever, right?
Yeah.
But when the corners hit, it's not there yet, whereas this is definitely there. So it depends what you're looking for, right? Unfortunately, in the real world, the limits of these cars are now so high that to really stretch its legs, you'd almost have to put it on a track or do something like Pikes Peak hill climb, right? Which is why we've got this car, because we're kind of doing this as a part of a program where, we're leading up to the Pikes Peak hill climb.
The other thing I will say is, and I'm going to get a lot of criticism for this in the comments.
All right, I'm ready. Go for it.
I think the range and the way they've implemented the rating on this vehicle is very smart. And it's not very smart from a marketing standpoint, but from a drivability standpoint, it is very enjoyable. Because anytime I've ever driven a Tesla, be it our Model 3 or the Model Y or the Model X, you look at the range indicator and it might say 205 miles. And then 5 miles later, you look at it and it'll say 180. then 5 miles later you look at it, it'll say 170. You're like, what's happened to my range? Whereas you look at this, it says 194 miles right now, and I can drive 194 miles, if not a little bit more, and that is a really reassuring concept. I mean, on paper it doesn't sound very good. Oh, 203 EPA, I think this car is 2020, but it's a real 203 miles, and that is, I think, plenty for most people on a regular basis.
So I'm going to say this. I think we're living through the golden age of electric cars right now. We have not had anybody else at any of the charging stations, and I think we've hit at least half a dozen, if not 7 or 8 by now, right?
Yeah, quite a few.
Right, and I think what's coming is, you know, charger wars at some point.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to end up with people fighting each other.
Yeah, it's coming. It already happened to us the other night, right?
Yeah, well, to a tiny extent.
Yeah,
but
it's
imagine
coming.
when people leave their car there for 10
Right.
minutes after it's full, and it's going to be a whole thing.
Yeah, before we get to the kind of the next generation of batteries where you can get 500 miles of range in 5 minutes, right? We're going to have charger wars. So I would say, guys, you know, forget about whether you care about, you know, the environmental, or forget about whether you think the grid. There are all these arguments against electric cars. They're coming. Just understand they're coming.
Ultimately, we made it back to Boulder without any further difficulties. We had one more charging stop, and it was a smooth experience. You know, it's easy to look at this video and think, wow, these electric cars are a big pain to deal with. But we did make it 1,000 miles plus, albeit with some issues, and we never really felt that much range anxiety in this Porsche. Sure, it took quite a bit longer than it would in the standard gasoline car, but overall, it was a really fun adventure, and I can't wait for the next EV road trip. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out tflcar.com for the latest and greatest in new EV news.